Hey guys, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing day. Let's get right into the stories. The first story is titled, Karen Doesn't Like People Parking in Front of Her House. So when I was around 6 years old, I lived with my family in a nice house in a small city in Poland. It was a quiet neighborhood on the outskirts, and pretty much all the neighbors knew each other. There were no sidewalks around the part of the street I lived at. Only one crappy sidewalk that started on the other side in front of my neighbor's house. It's important to remember that the sidewalk was very old and in bad shape. Still to this day, people are asking the city to fix it. The story is about that neighbor, Karen. She was an older lady. Everyone suspected that she really didn't have anything better to do than gather gossip and disturb everyone trying to rule the street. Everyone was commenting that if you wanted to get the whole area to know something, you had to tell her that message as a secret. Whenever someone came to visit us, they usually parked their car in front of our property. But on bigger meetups, like barbecues or parties, people would park in front of our closest neighbor's house too. That was never a problem. No gates were obstructed, and no one was disturbed. Well, almost. Karen hated when someone parked in front of her house. She would always run out, yelling about how we dared to park our filthy cars on her precious sidewalk. My mother is not someone that lets someone yell at her. She had many discussions with Karen about the laws and rules that stated that she doesn't own anything outside her fence, which means that the sidewalk is public, and anyone can park on it as long as they leave enough space for a wheelchair to pass. That wasn't enough. Every time someone would come to us and park their car there, the yelling would start. Until one time when my mother's friend, Tomek, came for coffee during winter. He's a local policeman and his specialty is road law. So my mother tells him about Karen and her behavior regarding the sidewalk. Tomek laughs since that thing was in such bad shape that it can barely be even called a sidewalk. When he was leaving, he assured my mom that he would stop by the next day for a coffee on his lunch break. Next day comes by, and I was playing with my brother in the snow. We see a black car pulling over in front of Karen's house, and as the driver gets out, Karen storms out of her house yelling, "You can't park here! This is my sidewalk! Get your filthy car off my prop!" Well, there he was, Tomek, with his full uniform, hat and all, turning around towards Karen, as comically as he could. "Excuse me? You tell me that I can't park here?" "Yes." "But this sidewalk is open to the public." "Yes, this is my sidewalk." "So let me get this right. This is your sidewalk?" "Yes, and you are the one responsible for taking care of it." "Well, yes I am." "That's why I don't allow anyone to park here." "Oh. That's so nice that I found you. Since it's your sidewalk, you're responsible for clearing the snow from it, to not create danger for the people walking on it. Since it was not plowed, I need to write you a fine for endangering public safety," he says as he pulls out his notebook. "But no other sidewalks are plowed." "Oh, it doesn't matter. The other sidewalks belong to the city. The cleaning crew is working on cleaning them. But since this sidewalk is yours, it's your responsibility." "But I'm old. I can't shovel the snow." "Then you need to hire someone to do that. Of course, if this sidewalk happened to be a public property..." "Yes, it's not mine." "But a moment ago you were yelling at me saying it was. So what is it? Is it yours or not? Because I don't know if I should fine you now." "No, it's not mine." "All right, it seems like we cleared that up. Now, if you ever harass anyone like you did with me, it could result in a fine. So I recommend that you watch out on what you claim to be yours." And then he proceeded to cross the street and enjoy a coffee in our house. Karen never disturbed anyone for parking in front of her house again. She would only stare at people trying to burn holes in their skulls with her sight. The next story is titled, "Want to block my driveway, officer?" It's going to be another minute or two on coffee. It was a crisp and chilly morning about a decade ago, and I began my early morning shift at a fast food restaurant. We opened at 6 a.m. sharp, and I had to be at work at 5 a.m. So I'd leave my house around 4:45 every day without fail. My management was relatively relaxed about the opening shift, and as long as you showed up ready to go, clocking in up to 10 minutes late wasn't really an issue. But on this particular day, things took a dramatic turn. I stepped outside at 4:45 a.m. to find that a local police officer had pulled someone over and was now blocking my driveway. This wasn't the first time this had happened, but normally it was in the afternoon, and I could simply ask the officer to move their car a few feet forward or back, and I would be able to get in or out of my driveway with ease. However, this officer was different. He was angry and informed me that I would have to wait until he was finished. I was already running late and couldn't afford to wait any longer, so I snapped a picture of the officer's car, texted it to my manager, and explained the situation. I thought that would be the end of it, but I was wrong. 40 long minutes went by, and the officer finally moved his car, leaving me to scramble into my own car and head to work. I arrived at the restaurant just 15 minutes before we opened, frantically brewing tea and fetching ice, trying to condense my 50-minute routine into just a quarter of the time. I was moving so fast that I almost forgot to start brewing coffee. As soon as opening time rolled around, the first group of customers came in, and it was a group of our local police officers, led by the captain. They were about to do a shift change, and I recognized one of the officers in the group as the one who had blocked my driveway earlier that morning. The captain ordered coffee, and I regretfully informed him that there was a 5-minute wait on coffee because I got to work so late. The captain asked why, and I showed him the picture I took earlier that morning, explaining the situation and how one of his officers had blocked my driveway for 45 minutes for a routine traffic stop. The captain proceeded to chew out that officer in front of all of his colleagues, exclaiming that nothing short of a life or death emergency should block my driveway if it was going to interfere with him getting his morning coffee. I was relieved that the captain took the situation seriously, and I thought that would be the end of it. But it wasn't. A few weeks went by, and I started to notice that the same officer who had blocked my driveway was still patrolling the area and pulling over cars, sometimes for no apparent reason. I became frustrated and decided that it was time for me to take matters into my own hands. I remembered the picture I had taken of the officer's car that morning, and I started to do some research. I discovered that the police department had a policy against officers blocking driveways, and I also found out that the officer in question had received multiple complaints about his behavior. I decided to take my findings to the captain, and with all the evidence I had gathered, I presented my case. The captain listened intently and was shocked to learn that one of his officers was breaking department policy. He took immediate action, and the officer was demoted and transferred to another department. It was a satisfying moment for me, and I felt like I had finally gotten my revenge. The captain always got his coffee at 6 a.m. without interruption, and I had made sure that the officer who had caused so much inconvenience and frustration would never block anyone. The next story is entitled Grandma Can't Stop Whining About My Photography. Let me first introduce the characters as not to make the story confusing. Me, a 20-year-old university student studying photography and videography. Entitled Grandmother. Not my grandmother, she is my cousin's grandma. Cousin. He is recently married and has a 3-year-old kid. I have been a hobby photographer, albeit not that great, for a couple of years now. I finally had the chance to up my game, and I was gifted a camera from my parents. I'm so grateful for that. Anyways, I'm now in my 3rd year as a student, studying photography and videography, but I am not confident enough in my skills to be a paid photographer. Cut to my cousin's wife asking me, why don't you photograph our son's first birthday? That was said a few years ago, and so I began doing that. Honestly, it was a great experience, and I learned a lot. Yes, I do it for free, but it was good experience, and my cousin and his wife promised to me and recommended me to their friends. I think it was a good idea. So cut to a few days ago. It was my cousin's son's birthday, and I'm supposed to be the photographer. Everything was going fine. I went early to take pictures of the kid before the people came. Cut to the kid's grandma coming. It was fine at first, but then she came and confronted me in front of everyone in a super mean, loud tone. Entitled Grandma, "You're a horrible photographer. Don't take pictures. Someone else will take them instead." Me, "Excuse me? What did I do to you?" Entitled Grandma, "You never sent me any previous birthday pictures. You give them to everyone, but not me. Give me your camera. I'll make someone else take pictures." She tried to take my camera, but I refused and told her it was mine. She got mad and then started yelling every time I took pictures. She yelled things like, "Someone else here," and then takes the person and puts them in front of me and takes pictures. This person, me, is such a horrible person that never sends me pictures and takes awful pictures. I was honestly so confused because I always sent the pictures to my cousin and his wife. Before I had my camera, I used to use my cousin's camera, and he had all the photos in his SD card. That was what we agreed on. I didn't know what to do, but she kept interrupting my field of view, and I honestly missed out on taking some great shots. I honestly didn't care at this point and just tried to take as many shots as I could until the party ended. E.G. kept yelling until I left and then came back home. She even messaged and told my siblings horrible things. I sent the pictures to the whole family afterwards, and she received them and then demanded for the previous birthday pictures. I told her they weren't with me and that she should check with her grandchild and his wife for the images. She got mad. Honestly, that experience was hell, especially since I was doing it for free. I guarantee you, if I was doing it for money, no one would let her act like that, because there's money on the line. Every family and friend just let her get away with it because she's an old lady. Like what? That's so unfair. I also found out that these people post the pictures without crediting me. And last I checked, they've never recommended me to anyone. At least I got some experience out of it, and I could say that I'm a really good photographer with kids, which is a nice plus. I've decided to start charging people, even if it is family, because it's not worth it anymore. They would have definitely treated me more professionally if there was money on the line. Thank you for listening. You guys are honestly wonderful, and taking this time out and having people understand really makes my day. I hope I'll become a good photographer someday. The next story is titled, "Steal My Amazon Package?" Enjoy your complaint investigation. I work from home. Receive a notification on my phone that my Amazon package has been delivered. It's a couple $100 item, so I immediately go outside, but no package anywhere. I was outside as the delivery van was driving away, so literally no way a package thief snatched it in 20 seconds. That Amazon driver is 2 houses down. "Excuse me, I received notification that my package was just delivered, but it's not there." Driver looking shocked, stammering over words. What's the address?" Give him the address. "Yeah, I just delivered it to you." "No, you didn't." "I'm calling Amazon and you all can sort this out." Start walking away. Driver calls out, I found your package, but it says there's an issue and I can't deliver it. It's likely a duplicate, and another driver will be by later to deliver the correct one." "Then why did you mark it as delivered?" Because I didn't see that there was an error." "The other driver will be by later." "No, I'm calling Amazon now." Walk away, call Amazon to report the incident. They say nothing is wrong with my package, and it's marked as delivered. I tell them about the interaction, and they say the driver should have given me the package. Even if it's a duplicate, the driver is not supposed to withhold a package. They'll investigate and get back to me in 24 hours. 2 minutes after getting off the phone with Amazon, doorbell rings. I happen to be next to the door, so open it within 5 seconds to see the same delivery driver hauling ass down my driveway. Jumps in the delivery van and speeds off through the neighborhood. Look down and my package is there. Call Amazon again to let them know I just got the package, and it was the same driver who hauled tail. They said they would be opening an investigation into the driver. I also told them about how fast he was driving through the neighborhood. I felt like a Karen calling to complain, but truly believed this driver was running a package stealing scam. Mark's package has delivered. Customer says they never received. Driver says, well, a package thief probably stole it before you looked for it. The last story is titled, The Craigslist Karen. A few weeks back, I was selling a cell phone on good old Craigslist. I had tons of hits, but Karen came in first and said she'd come to me immediately. I told her to come on down to my work. At the time, I was in my own little trailer as the place I was remodeling, and it was slow season. My final message to anyone buying from me is a confirmation of price. Just so we're clear, the price is $400, and it comes with X, Y, and Z. No response. Spidey senses start tingling. About an hour later, Karen shows up. Karen, I'm here for the phone. I had the phone charging on my desk, so it was ready for the inspection. The phone was flawless. Karen picks it up and looks at it, is scratching at non-existent stuff, giving that little sniff of disapproval, then says, it's a little rougher than I thought. Me, it's been fully encased in InvisiShield from the minute it was taken out of its box. There's not a scratch on it. Karen, well, it's not worth $400. Me, that's the price. Take it or leave it. Karen, I only brought $250 with me. You take it or leave it. I had taken the phone back after her inspection, so at this point, I put it in my desk drawer. Me, leave it is. Have a nice day, Karen. Excuse me. I drove almost 2 hours to get here, and I took time off of work to pick this up. Me, that's super neat. It's still for sale at $400. But if you need to pick up more cash, just about every bank you can think of is within a few miles. Karen, I want to speak to your manager right now. Me, sure thing. 2 trailers over, door on the right. Have fun. At the time, I was selling insurance out of a dealership and had a good friend of mine was the desk manager, my boss. As she stormed out, I messaged my friend boss about the crazy lady coming his way. A few minutes later, my desk phone rings from my boss. Boss, Minja, did you refuse to sell your phone to this lady? Me, yep, she wouldn't pay the agreed upon price. Boss, are you willing to negotiate the price? Me, nope, I already have other offers for full price. Boss, ma'am, we appreciate your time, but the price is firm at $450. Karen in the background. What? He said $400. Boss, and you only brought $250. Sounds like you're short either way. Look, I can work a deal out for you here. If you pay me $200, I'll get him to sell you the phone for $250. I could almost hear gears turning before she said, duck you, and left slamming the door. Message from the boss. Don't sell crap that isn't insurance at the dealership, retard. Thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We'll see you again tomorrow.